on it, and basically this guy Mark, who I'm a good friend with, now had the same results. Older guy, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, who has a son, the guy you saw him in the video at the end, and basically his name's Alex. Many of these guys know who he is, have spent time with him. So I met up with this young guy about May of 11, and I was out in Phoenix for a meeting, and we sat down for lunch for 30 minutes, and I just told him my whole story about the product and the concept of what we're talking about here tonight. And this guy got so excited and so fired up about this, like we are, because he saw it as a way out. You know, he saw it as a way to make money, a way to do something different, that by the time, you know, he got out of college, he wouldn't have to go get a corporate job. You know, if you're like me, you know, I never really wanted to go down that road of having to just rush right out of school and get into something corporate. And I think, you know, he said, you know, the two things, the first thing we met, he said, look, man, if I like it, meaning the product, he's like, if I like it, my friends will. So obviously tonight you got to try the product if you're new and checking it out. But number two, he said, look, Brad, if I'm making money in this, my friends will want to do it. And I think that's kind of a general thing that we all agree with. If you see it's working for a lot of us, it's like all my friends are going to want to hop on board and do it as well. So it triggered in my head, you guys, just to help him become successful. If I could help him become a success story, I figured, you know, he would keep running with it, and that's exactly what happened. And as one of the stories that we have, or as an example that Luke was talking about, from May of 11 till May of 12, he got 16 friends on board. It's not that many. 16 friends on board with this as pretty much just mostly on Verve, and it's turned into over 3,000 orders of the product shipping out in his group every month. You guys, he's 22, just turned 23, and he's making about $5,000 a week. And it's become a huge success story and really an example to many of us that this can really work. And it's been a big example, especially as a company has really taken his story and made it a big deal. And I can tell you why that happened. Why are these guys, why are myself and many of us having so much success with this? Well, look around. Number one, you guys, 55% of kids our age are unemployed. You know, it's all over the news, all over the media. I'm not just saying that out of nowhere. Go do your own research. They say 1 out of 2 kids right now our age, from age 16, 17 to 28, 29, can't find a good job. And so that's just a general number. Think about, you guys, how many of our friends are going to graduate college here this year, next year, the year after, that will not find a good job. And again, that's a big issue as to why I think so many young people are taking this, embracing it, and are really, you know, putting some time and effort into this. Number two, why Alex and many of these guys are having so much success. Young people are really getting on board because now student loans. I'm not here to say don't go to school. I believe in education. I think you should get your degree. I think many of us could take something like this part-time while you're in school. You know, if you're in class, you're around a lot of young people. You're around a lot of our friends where, you know, you can introduce it to somebody. Basically, and as you're in school, you're learning, man. You're open-minded, so you're able to kind of take something like this and really put some time and effort into it. And there's a learning curve, but it's pretty simple. But now student loans, you guys, are the #1 debt in America. That's why I think we're having a lot of success as well. They say the average around 60% of college kids have $25,000 to $30,000 in student loans. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Look at all of our friends that are pulling out student loans like crazy. It's obviously a big issue. So that's another reason why I think it's working so well. And as you know, as Colin said, who has a job? Well, obviously, you know, it kind of sucks. And hear me out. I'm not here to downplay anybody. I'm not here to be that guy or anything like that. But it's not the greatest working for $10 an hour. Because when you're young, you know, do the math. $10 an hour, 20 hours a week, you make around $200. Times 4 is 8. After taxes, you're going to probably go home with like $600 or $700. So the idea that we realize is you really can't do much with that. You know, if you have rent, you have car, you have gas, insurance, food, cell phone, you have all these bills, let alone you want to go out on Friday night or whatever, have a good time, or you want to go on a date, you're not going to have the money to do that. And so the concept of this tonight, really what we're talking about, you guys, is this Verve idea is where you can start to build your own business. You can actually learn how to make money. It's very easy to do, but you need a vehicle. You need the right vehicle to do it, and that's really what we were talking about here with Verve. And as I said to Luke in the car, you know, I think a big reason on the other end of why it's working so well is that recently we're getting a lot of credibility around the product. Dr. Oz recently had Verve on his show, which I'm not the health and fitness expert, but if he recommends it, obviously I think that's pretty credible. And so for me, I think that was a pretty neat thing that he came out, and that was obviously big for the company and big for all of us. And so from the product side, it's starting to get a lot of credibility. And I explained to these guys when we first met, I said, you guys don't know about Verve because it's not in stores. You know, it's not a retail product, and here's why. If Verve was in stores, why would I get it from you? So think about it. Why would you get it from a friend if you could buy it on your way to class? So number one, if Verve was a retail product, it would kind of defeat the whole business, or it would kill this whole idea for us as something we could do to make money. Number two, as a consumer, I wouldn't buy that anyway. I don't even know what that is. How many times you go into A&P, Chevron, whatever, and you see all these products on the shelf, you know, how many times you buy something that you don't really know what it is? I always buy the same Smart Water, the same gum, the same chips. I use the example that girls, you're not going to use a hair product on your hair that you don't know what it is. But if a girl calls you, your girlfriend calls you, and she's like, girl, this stuff is awesome. Oh my gosh, you got to try it. You'd be the first one tomorrow to go to CVS and pick it up. So it's that direct contact, and that's an example, but it's that direct contact of telling somebody about it. And yet you get credit for getting someone on board, whether it's them using the product or doing the business, and as whatever they do as well, which is a neat part, because then there's a lot of teamwork to help those people in your team obviously do well and do the business as well. So step number one, if you're here tonight, you got to try it out. If you haven't tried it, definitely get one before you leave. It seems like everybody likes it. People love the taste. People like how they feel. People really have an emotional attachment to the product, and I think that's what really is step one. Number two, the real main thing I emphasize to Alex, to Luke, all the guys that are here tonight, I really emphasize the numbers, because if you guys really analyze the numbers and how the business really works, it's not rocket science. It's actually very simple, and it works like this. You build two groups. You build two teams, like a left team and a right team. So it works like this. If, let's say I got Anton on board, he's from here, and then let's say you got 4 friends on board. So you and I, you tried Verve, liked it. You saw the business was obviously growing, and then you're like, hey, I got 4 of my buddies in Delaware. They're going to hop on board too. So let's say he got 4 friends on board. I got 5 orders of the product going out on my left side. And let's say Luke, he's from here as well, but now he's going to San Diego State. So let's say he got 4 friends at San Diego State on board. So now there's 5 orders over here. When you have 10 orders in your group, pretty easy to track from your app or from the computer, the back office. At that point, you're making around $200 a month. And it's neat. At that point, one, you're making a little bit of money, but you're also paying for your product. And I've also been talking about this new program that came out called the Customer Program, where you can get 3 people on the product, and from that point, your order is free. So if you get 3 customers, they don't charge you every month, so you don't have any monthly order coming out. So I know psychologically, if we can help you get to where you have 10 orders in your group or 3 customers, if you're not out anything, psychologically that's a good thing. So that's what we really try to do to help the newest person, is to hit that point. Number 2, when you have 55 orders in your group, so those same 4 people that Anton and I got on board at Delaware got 7 people each. So 5 people got 7, that's 35. Let's say Luke and I teamed up, he got 4 friends at San Diego State on board, 5 people got 4, however you want to do the math. 20 and 35, that combination means you're gold, making around $600 to $700 a month, and that's a residual income. And so the idea is you can pretty much, if any of you guys obviously that raise your hand have a part-time job where you're working, you'd pretty much be able to quit that. You'd be able to get out of your part-time work. And that's really the fundamental thing tonight I think you want to leave with, is what can this do for you? You can get out of your part-time work. If you double that to 110, so the same thing, Anton has, let's say, 7 people on board now, and everybody got 10 each. So we're trying to help all these people grow the business, and some of them are just maybe using the product. Same thing, Luke at San Diego State, 4 friends, got 10 each. That combination of 70 and 40, if you keep that in mind, 110 orders in your group, and you're making around $1,200 to $1,500 a month. You did that in how long? Yeah.
First month.
So he hit that in 30 days. You guys, it took me 8 months. And so my point is, how long did it take you?
2.
So 2 months. It obviously takes people different spans of time, and you'll understand why, because it's a sorting process. It takes time. But my point is, you guys, it took me 8 months to do that. So really, what could this do for us tonight? Number 1, it can get you out of your part-time work. Number 2, you could obviously get this to $1,200 or $1,500 a month. At our age, that's kind of getting into about a full-time income, a little bit further along. And as you hit Diamond, you can go get a 3 Series or a Mercedes, and they'll pay your payment. And then obviously, the higher you go in the business, you get more money. So you could even get a higher than a C-Class or a 3 Series. So that's what we're really excited about, because that right there is happening to so many people our age so fast, all the time. People are hitting gold, hitting diamond, hitting gold, hitting diamond. And I think that's what's fueling this business, because there's so many young people our age becoming success stories. So number 1, try the product. Number 2, if you guys saw the numbers tonight, anybody can do that. It's not rocket science. Number 3, if you really looked at the tools, if you get online, if you spend a few minutes tonight after you leave here, if you look at the website we pulled that video from, youtube.com/Verve Energy is our YouTube channel. And there's a lot of videos on there of why the business, the job market, student loans, the $10 an hour thing. I did a video on there, it's about 5 minutes long, on changing your mindset from an employee to an entrepreneur. It's about a 4-minute video, and you can watch that, and it talks about some serious fundamental things of why this is working so well. But if you can change your mindset and what you do and what you think about, from being just a day-to-day employee into a business, an entrepreneur mindset. You know, obviously, that makes sense when people check that out. I have a bunch of people on there that are being featured in videos. Luke's in one of them as well. Kaylee Warren, she just turned 20, Arizona State, second year. She got like 7 friends on board. It's turned into like 600-700 orders in her group since January. This chick's making like $1,500 a week. She's right at the same level as Luke, and she'll break a 6-figure income next month. So we'll have a 20-year-old young lady that hits a 6-figure income in less than 1 year. And let alone dozens and dozens. We were in Phoenix last night. I was in Toronto 2 nights ago. I was in Phoenix yesterday with Luke for a recording. And all these young ladies are killing it. And it's simple. I mean, and that's what we were laughing about on the way here. Girls are really destroying this whole business because you girls could smile and get all the guys to a meeting. So the point being is that, you know, it's not just guys doing this. There's a lot of young ladies that are having success. So check that out on youtube.com/Verve Energy. If you looked at our website, you can look at a lot about the product. If you actually look at the company, the title of the company is Vemma. And let me explain what that is. Vemma is our main product. It's a liquid vitamin supplement right here. And basically, this is what I was introduced to back in 2005. It stands for Vitamins, Essential Minerals, Mangosteen Aloe. So if you want to know what's in the product, Vemma and Verve, vitamins A through E. Everybody knows about taking a multivitamin. 65 plant source minerals. If you read about mineral deficiency, it's a big thing that people lack in their diet. Mangosteen is this fruit from Asia, high in antioxidants. It helps with joint pain, inflammation. You have aloe vera and green tea. It's preservative-free organic. So it's like a liquid vitamin supplement. People take Centrum 1 a day. This is a much better product for them to use. And since I got on this, you guys, people's blood pressure has been going down 50, 100 points. Cholesterol drops 100 points. People with like irritable bowel, chronic fatigue, all these health problems because we eat junk food. I mean, I don't know, what is it? Wawa? He's like, dude, go ahead. My point is, you guys look at what we eat over here.
We don't have Wawa.
Well, and it makes, we don't have that. I live in But the point is, you guys, you know, realistically, you guys look at why we eat for these certain reasons. We eat because of the cost. We don't have the money to go eat, you know, organic, preservative-free every day. We don't have the time to go prepare that and do all that because we're all on the go for work, for class, whatever. So obviously, BK, the owner. Now think about it logically, you guys. I don't think that my friends are going to spend like $60 a month on this. You know, you're telling me your friends are going to spend $60 a month on this? I don't think so. So the owner, BK, got creative and put 2 ounces of the Vemma in Verve. So when you drink a Verve, you're drinking Vemma. It has a little bit of guarana, natural caffeine, 80 milligrams. Coffee's got like 200. A little taurine and purified water. So it's not all that sugar and caffeine like Red Bull or Monster where you won't get all wiry and jittery, you don't crash. And again, people love it. People like the taste. They like how they feel. People really have an emotional attachment to the product. So check that out at the website. You can read a little bit more on the product and the company. And the thing that I explained to Luke, I'm like, look, man, you guys, our friends spend money on stuff like this every day. If you think about what we spend money on, you know, a lot of ladies here tonight, you guys, many of us spend money on Starbucks, $3 or $4 a day, every day. You guys, if you go to lunch, you go to Chipotle, you go to anywhere and get a burrito or something, you have a soda. You know, I told Luke, I'm like, if you obviously are trying to find the money or you want to do this, just don't have a soda at lunch, man. Drink water. You go out at night, whether you're doing, you know, you're going to a party and you drink energy drinks or pre-gaming or whatever, chasers and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that, you know, this is something to use as a party, you know, product, but more or less, I think if you look at what we spend money on every day, you guys, people spend probably $5, $10 a day on Starbucks, soda, energy drinks. You guys, my friends spend more money on alcohol and partying every day. And I'm just being real with you because if you realize and stop and think about it, if you want to find the money, if you want to do it, you'll find the money to do it. That's my point. So, you know, we spend money on stuff like this every day. So check out youtube.com/Verve Energy. Check out the website and even reference our Facebooks. It'll show you the bigger picture. It'll actually probably raise your belief level. On mine, people are posting pictures of their checks, pictures of their cars all the time. You know, big events. Michigan State approved Verve as a club. There's over 500 kids that are doing this. You know, young people are just becoming crazy success stories. So check that out. And number 4 is the support. You guys, why am I here tonight? Why did we come from? I was in Toronto 2 nights ago for 2 days. I was in Phoenix yesterday. I flew all the way back over here. Why? Because you have the support of people who care. You have the support of people who have an invested interest in you. And that's the way this whole business works. Because if you don't grow, he doesn't grow. If you don't grow, he doesn't grow. If you don't grow, I don't grow. So it's not like we're saying, here's your Verve, good luck, man. It's like, hey, look, if you get started, it's something that we want to sit down with you and help you put a plan together. And that's what I knew with Alex, you guys. I knew it with Luke and all the guys. I said, look, if you don't know much about the product in the beginning, it's not your role. You're not coming up here to do a whole product orientation. That's not what we're trying to do. You know, and especially if you're new, you don't know much about the product. Number one. Number two, if you're like me, when I first saw this, I didn't understand the numbers. I didn't understand how the business worked really, and it took me a couple times of hearing it. So if you're new, it's not really your role to try to break that down for people. It might come off, you know, where it doesn't make sense. And third, if you haven't really made any money in the business, you may not have much credibility. If you talk to your buddy or you talk to one of your friends about it, and you're trying to show them what's going on and how excited you are about this. But if you haven't made any money, you know, it's going to be hard to get someone to see the big picture to get excited. So the idea I said with Alex, I said, look, man, you could draw up a list. You can make it take your Facebook, your phone book. That's what I told Luke. I said, look, take your Facebook and funnel that into this, where you can make a list from your Facebook phone book, maybe 10, 50, 100 friends that you think would like the product, number one. You know, we talk about stuff every day. Man,